Yo, boys, today, how you doing? We have a focus. We're going to be doing carbon on this one, so super cool. We're going to go dark in the back, 5, and then not quite as dark on the front, 20. So no windshield, but he said he will be back for the windshield very soon. So wants to get ceramic on that, so hopefully we'll do that soon enough. But in the meantime, we have a full car that we need to get done. I have a stream I need to make sure is good. Look at that. Everything's working. Heck yeah. Okay, one more test. Woo! I'm getting good at catching these lives. Welcome, Floyd, Vegeta, Michael. My wife has a Focus hatchback. Yeah, more often than not, the ones that I get are hatchback. I've done quite a few hatchbacks on stream. We don't get too many of the sedans, so it's actually pretty cool to have a little difference there. Mostly the same types of side windows. Obviously, the back's a little bit different, though. So, how do I need to text the link. And we will let him know. Here is the link to the stream. Unless he found it already. There we go. I get issues when installing. I get bubbles on the sides of the windows. I can't get rid of them. Is it a shrinking problem? It sounds more like a dirt problem, but if they're like little air pockety spears, then that's definitely a shrinking problem. If they're round, then that's usually a dirt problem. The Joy soap thing works well with ceramic, but Pro Classic is sticking like a mofo. It does stick. That was like still is one of my biggest gripes about the whole film. The carbon's not as bad. But there's quite a few films, I guess, in this range that kind of stick like that. The nice thing to know is when it's installed, it is a solid glue system. But it is a little bit to get used to. So you used Joy. Did you use the Joy non-Ultra? Because that was told to me way later. All I have is the Ultra, so I have to take time to get regular Joy. But any feedback on that in the meantime is much appreciated. I'm a fresh tinter, been doing it for 2 years. I also learned much from you. I'm forever grateful. Aw, thank you. Invasion, how you doing? Before I install, I shrink after the installation. I have the fingers and shrink them from the inside. How can I solve it? You need to shrink it a little bit more before you install it. If you're still having fingers on the inside, you didn't shrink it enough. Told to you by me. Love how that works. See, I don't know who tells me stuff. So it doesn't work with the Pro Classic, but it works better with the ceramic. That's interesting. They're both on like the same glue system too. So can you teach me how to shrink better to prevent this? Yeah, for sure. Remind me when we get to the doors. I'll try and talk about snap shrinking a little bit more. Maybe that could be the topic of the day. Because I wasn't sure what to do for a topic for today, but you know, we're making progress here. I actually have a video I shot yesterday. I played around with some eBay transition film, so that video is going to go up tomorrow morning. Can you overshrink? Yes, you can. Definitely on the doors. A little bit harder on the back windows. But definitely on the doors you can overshrink, especially if you're snapping. Headlights or taillights? You're right. It's not my thing. It's because it's completely different. It's more akin to vinyl wrapping. So if you're really good at vinyl wrapping, you'll love doing taillights. If you tint windows, the material is just completely different. So with taillights, you're stretching. I do have a video on the channel that is all about wrapping taillights and just kind of showing you, like, I don't really know what I'm doing, let's figure it out. And then we managed to do a taillight on my Explorer. But there's some taillights out there that are super exaggerated. So it's kind of like you're learning such a big skill for like a small area. So if you're gonna do taillights, then you could do hoods and roofs and like all this other stuff too. So you might as well just keep going with some vinyl wrapping too. Let me turn this down just a hair. I think that might. I don't know. See, I got all this lighting back here now, so I gotta mess around with this a little bit more. My monitor sucks though. Do you think Amazon starter kit tools are bad, or are they good? Ooh, that is such a good topic too. Dang it, we should do that another time. The quick summary is I would buy tools off of a tint tool website, like sundistributingdirect.com or Tint Depot. Any one of those. They also have starter kits. What you get from Amazon is a lot of chintzy, cheesy knockoffs and like a rubbery squeegee. They'll still work, but they have better starter kits. So there is going to be you could buy like a starter kit for like $20 to $25, but if you want like a nice setup, a couple $100 in tools is going to go a super long way though. So you don't quite need to go that far, but I do have a couple videos on the channel that talk about it too. Still drinking coffee at 1:30? Hell yeah. All day. Dude, I go home, I have another cup of coffee. It keeps me going. That's actually from this morning too, so it's still going strong. All right, so we got to get started. We can still talk about stuff while we tint stuff. Can you do a more in-depth cutting and install of the small quarter glass in the rear doors? Yeah, we can. So these ones are going to be really straightforward. Cutting's same as the back window, though. Can you explain back window dry shrink? All right, so the two things that are definitely being asked are shrinking side doors and then also shrinking back windows. I have more back window videos. And then every live stream, we always talk about shrinking. Not every video, but you know how it goes. There's a whole heck of a lot of them. Let me grab this. I'm a little scattered today. I spent over an hour setting up a printer because printers don't like me. They just never have. So what's cool is I mounted it in the bottom of the box. So all my invoices are through TintWiz. So what's really cool is this is my little payment thing. And there's a spider there. Fun. Payments and then invoice printed right out there. Boom. All here. I love it. It's so fun. So let me change out this blade here real quick. I know it's just a printer, but like this setup is just fun for me. It's real clean. It actually looks like a lot more clean. Because you can take them back here when you finish the car and like all cash out right here. Do you ever tint the sunroof? I do, but not super often. What kind of blades? While we're at them, these NTs, you can use the Olfa or NTs. I've been using NTs. I think they're a little bit sharper. NT stainless steel. These ones are great. Oops, now they're all ruined. All right, so prep. We need to prep. So these do have felt seals. So that's an additional reason to do this, but we do it anyways. So it's kind of tall, which is nice. The seals on these are pretty straightforward. The only real issue that they'll give you is, like, you can tuck these in pretty far, but also you kind of have this hump here with the paneling. So they can go super far down, and then combined with this can make them a little bit tricky. But you got a lot of space to play around with on these too. But they're very, very forgiving seals. So even if you don't get them tucked down all the way, they're like, I've never had one peel on me, I don't think. No, maybe once. No, don't fall. So we have a little bit extra prep work on the back window. I saw there was some big old tape residue from like a temporary plate or something. So we have to take that off without destroying the back window. And I don't know. Overall, it's pretty typical. Just a little bit. Whoa! Oh my God, they work! Thank you. Oh, I had another talk with, I'll let it play first.
Jose78 Rios super chatted $4.99. How we doing today?
We are doing great. Thank you for the 5. Jose with the 5. Appreciate it. So I had a talk with the support for the system that controls those. And they gave me a much more confidence-inspiring answer. They said there were a lot more people that have been using their system, so they try and do like super real-time alerts. And there's another system that I use from a site called Stream Elements, and Stream Elements does all the like on-screen visual stuff. You notice these go and then those. So the technical response was they need to delay them a little bit longer to make them consistent. And I am totally okay with that as long as they go off. Because that is what everybody else does, apparently. So hopefully it's fixed, because that was great. That worked right away. I didn't have to do anything. Enough pain and struggle for the fog machines. Now it's back to the pain and struggles of tinting. Cool. So we put some tape, so let's keep going. I wonder if it's going to stick to these. I've been doing this on like every door panel since I started. Since I started taping them, like every car, on stream or not, and it's really consistent with the plastic. This stuff sticks great to the door paneling too. Have you used Solar Guard or Global? Solar Guard, I haven't used either for any extended period of time, but I'd be a lot more familiar with global similarities. Solar Guard, I used a little bit. They have a 1.5 mil film in their Galaxy line, and then most of their films though are like a 1 mil film, so they're just going to be a lot thinner. The glass shop was a big fan of Solar Guard, and if they had a bunch of Solar Guard failures, they would be coming back when I was tinting there, and we didn't have any of those hardly come back at all. So, I don't know. It's probably good. And Global has a super good reputation, so pretty solid films there. If you like Global, though, you'll probably like Geo. Just saying. All right, so we have that all done. Let's pop on. Oh wait, no, we gotta do this back window. Okay, let's prep this. So, whenever you have these lines up here, tape lines, they're generally not this bad. This is not super great. This is probably all types of flaked on. Ooh, Unfortunately, they ripped through this defroster line. And this one. This one looks okay. But I could see why. If you leave packing tape out in the sun, it's gonna just flake. So that defroster line on the top one is no good. So we could take a razor, clean across here, clean all that off without any consequences because it's all ripped to pieces. Same thing with this lower one right here. That's a shame, but not the end of the world. All the other defroster lines are probably fine. So as long as you don't scrape across those, you'll be cool. So I wouldn't normally do this, but today we're gonna do it. But just for the reasons that you saw. Well, if it comes off nice and easy, maybe I won't scrape right over the defroster line. I want to make it even, though. This is like a personal decision. So you could scrape up to the defroster line. But if it's broken, yeah, that's clearly been damaged right there, up there. So you got two choices here. One, you just completely leave it alone. And you have inconsistency in the line. So what's going to happen is from the outside, you're going to see some dark spots, and then you're going to see some bright orange spots. So what we can do, a creative decision, because the line doesn't work anyways, is we can just make it even the whole way across. So all the other defroster lines are going to be functional. But this is going to look a little bit more normal from the outside. You're not going to have any weird spots. So same thing for this one right here. We'll just clean this guy off so it looks nice and clean. And then in doing so, we'll take the rest of that tape off too. Now the other tape line looks like it's right in between. It hasn't touched the defroster, so we got to be real careful there. Looking good. Yep, those are both good. And then gotta be real careful about that. So there's a little bit in between. Oh, it looks a little damaged there, but we're not gonna touch it. That's so small. We'll just leave that one. But we'll get the rest of the glue off in between. That's slip solution you're spraying on it? Yep. Yep, just slip solution. Oh, dang. It's like, actually some of these are worse than I thought. So there's a little bit one there, a little bit there. Dang. All right, well, further inspection shows that it's a little bit, so that there's some little parts of it that aren't gonna quite look right. But I don't know exactly which lines down here aren't gonna quite work and which ones are gonna be okay. Some of them have like, yeah, that one's probably toast too. Yuck. So a little bit here. Tint World removed I paid Tint World to remove my tint, and then they handed me a paper afterwards saying they weren't responsible. Ouch. After the fact, that really bites. That's something that you gotta talk to somebody about beforehand. It's one of those things that every once in a while, removing tint off of the defrosters will take the defrosters with them. But honestly, up here, it's really rare. Most of the time, defrosters are totally fine. You just got to take a steamer. I could see if a shop just doesn't care and they're just moving fast and they got other stuff to do, so they end up just like whatever, and then they have some leftover glue and they just kind of like scrape it off or something. We always use glass safe scrub pads and other stuff when we go over defrosters to keep them safe. Like this guy right here with the blue pad. The Tri-Edge Scrub It. Which I heard you guys were a big fan of. So we should be pretty good with all that. We'll just squeegee it off and make sure. Because finding those little flaky bits with thin patches of glue, you can't really feel them. Not very easily, so you always gotta kind of look it over real close. So we'll squeegee the outside. We'll tape it off, and then if everything looks good, then we'll keep going with the prep. If I use a heat gun and just peel and pull the tint, will it damage the defroster lines? For a back window, no, but you might damage other stuff trying to get a heat gun in there. It's really advised to get a cheap cloth steamer, and also your clothes will thank you for it too, because you can then use it for wrinkly shirts and stuff. But yeah, you don't even need an expensive one. It helps out a bunch. I think we're pretty good. Finally can say what's up in the live. Thank you for everything you do. You've helped me so much with learning how to tint. Dang, that's awesome. You're welcome. Thanks for the thank you. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, we gotta get the key. We gotta tape it off and we gotta get the key. Have you seen Lexan's carbon? Any thoughts on the ceramic? Their IR is the highest I've seen at 95. No, I haven't, but I should put that on my list. 95 IR would be an interesting topic. So I put a, so over yesterday, I found a film that was 75 to 20% transition film. So it starts out at 75, and then you pull it out into the sun and it transitions down to 20%, as low as 20%. And then it boasts a 91 to 93% IR heat rejection, which is better than my own ceramic. And in the video, you'll see my thoughts on it. It was fun to play around with. It was really cool. And then I actually got to drive it around a little bit more. I tell you, cheaper films like that, when you get into cheaper ceramics and stuff, especially when they're boasting a really high IR, man, it has a very strong color to it, and it is definitely hazy. Definitely hazy. So I can check it out, and then maybe it won't be, but we'll see. Is it possible to fix defrosters? They have defroster patch kits, but you're talking about small areas. You're not going to be able to fix a whole line off of it. It's kind of like you have to paint like a copper or a metal back onto the glass to fix those lines, because that's all it is. It's a metal line that goes across the whole window. So you have to recoat that. So you're basically taking a paintbrush. You could try and tape it and then just do a real nice clean line and then maybe like peel the tape or something. But it's going to be really challenging. You're better off probably just buying a new piece of glass. I'm doing kits from our vinyl. Oh, I've done this like twice already. Where's the keys? What did we do? Oh, I know where it is. I know where the keys are. Yeah, hope your kits go well. That's cool. That's off. Let us roll up the windows. We'll close this door so it doesn't boo 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 the whole time, just part of the time. And then I gotta prep those too. So I could roll these all up at the same time. But sometimes if the tape's a little loose here, it'll snag it and rip it up. So I'm just making sure it's fixed down before I roll them up. Like right there. Oh, no. Sync is connected to your phone and reminding you. No, shut up. How dark are they going? So we are doing 5 in the back, 20 on the front doors. One of these days we'll do the full windshield here. So let us grab the 20. We're going to put that right here. Still working on inventory here. I cleaned up all the boxes along the side there. And then I was going to do more today. And then I got distracted with an hour and a half of printer setup. Printers are the worst. But it works. It finally works. Why do most tinters use dryer sheets for the back window? It's not for cleaning, it's for dry shrinking. So we clean them off, and then you wet them down and wipe it over the back window. Then what it does is it leaves a nice to shrink on surface. Because if you just try shrinking on the glass, it doesn't go so well. This is a 40. And 20% right now. What days are you here? I'm typically here 6 days a week. But they're 4 appointments, so if I don't have an appointment, I'm not always here. This man is the world's most prolific tinter. Thank you. Sounds so smart. How long? It varies. Sometimes I'll get out of here earlier. My hours are like from 10 to 5. I tried doing 9. I'm not a morning person. So 9 o'clock, I'm always running just a little bit too late. But if I have to do something a little bit earlier, I'll force myself to get up and scoot on over here. But typically it's 10. All right, so let's cut this. So we can cut these a little bit wide because of how much room that we have, but you don't need to go too crazy. Same thing with the bottom. Bottom you could go really low if you want to. Seals are pretty far down. But the farther you go, it makes tucking against that panel a little bit. So we'll go a little farther down, but nothing too crazy. Yeah, I'm not a morning person. I've tried. It just doesn't work for me. Waking up, I hate it. How do you hand cut if you can't roll the window up and down? Go get your window fixed. Really, you can kind of get it tinted. They're usually going to be dirty though. Every once in a long while, I'll have a car where it definitely happened with cheaper pricing. Customer drops off a car, tint the car, get all the basically you get all the patterns cut. You install a couple of windows, then you go to like one of these, and then all of a sudden it's just not rolling up or down, and then you have to make a phone call. You're like, your window's not working, and you hope they say, oh, yeah, that window doesn't work, even though that's not a great answer, because at least they recognize that it doesn't work, and they don't go, oh, well, it was working. What did you do to my car? Nothing. I prepped everything and went to go tint it, and it doesn't roll up or down. Oh, it was working before. No, it wasn't. But once you get that all sorted, most of the time, they would say just go ahead and tint it anyways, and however it turns out is however it turns out. So they brought it to you first. They don't feel like going to get it fixed to make it look better, so they're just like, yeah, just do the best you can. Thanks for the videos. I tint my windows after a few failed attempts. Hey, that's awesome. That's what it always takes. There's got to be somebody that's done it without ever making a mistake, but uh-oh, it froze. Hang on. Oh no. I don't know why. GoPro, cam link, deactivate. No, come on. Activate. Okay. Whew. I saw that happen. Cue the 5 people that are going to tell me it froze, though. Maybe we caught it soon enough. Wow, I was looking at it, and then I watched it freeze. Maybe I just shouldn't look at it. Okay, so we got some front windows. So now we need to cut out some back windows. That is the 20, so we can put that back in the box, because we don't need it, unless we jinx ourselves and then have to redo it. Just Walmart tint, but I did it twice. After months and finally invested in an actual heat gun and some decent tools besides the hairdryer, it worked out. Well, how about that? Investing in some actual tools paid off for you. That's great. I totally get it. Like, if you're just going to Walmart to get some film, you don't want to have to spend the extra on like a heat gun. It's like, but really, you need a heat gun. Which heat guns are useful for other things. If you ever need to remove a label, heat guns are great. Heat guns are used for removing paint. They sell a whole bunch of those little guys. But if you have a hairdryer, it's not enough. I tried. I tried for you guys. It didn't work out. But you can see how, like, you know, you could buy the film and you can do it yourself. But it does, to get one car tinted, it takes a little investment. So if you're just kind of watching the videos looking to tint your own car and nothing else, you're kind of better off. You really are. If you just want a clean job, you're better off taking it to a good shop and having them do it. But you'll definitely get some appreciation from doing it yourself. You'll have a little bit more appreciation for the process. Good to catch you. Been tinting for 2 to 3 months. Double cut everything. Still takes 4 to 5 hours. Well, shit, that's not bad at all. I mean, I'm trying to think of how long it took me when I was still that new. I don't think I was tinting full cars when I was tinting for 2 or 3 months. I was mostly an assistant, and I'd tint a window here or there, and mostly slow them down. Or slow the one guy down that had all the work to do and teach me at the same time. That was super fun. Wasn't double cutting back then either. So, yeah, it's just, you get better. The more you practice, the better you'll get. But 3 months, you're tinting cars? That's awesome. That's fast. That's way fast. All right. Notorious? I know Frank at Notorious. Met him a long time ago. What was it? I missed the other comment, but I actually was there for a brief moment in time. They're over in Livonia. Heat gun's also good for crafting. Yes. All right. So we're gonna trim off this one, and then we're gonna get it set it up for snap shrinking. So I know somebody asked about shrinking, so we'll try to at least talk about snap shrinking again, unless I just forget 2 seconds before I do it, which isn't out of the question. Hey! Aww. Oh, dang! Those were pretty close together. It looks like they did delay.
$5. The window tint on your website. What's the variance on it? If you put your 35% on 70% glass, what will it meter?
Thank you for the super chat. That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure. 1 second here, so I can read it back. I heard it, but I want to read it. Look at that. Fog machine's going off with alerts. Looks like they fixed the thing. KTM Racer. How you doing? Thank you for the 5. The window tint on your website. What's the variance on it? If you put 35 on 70, what will it meter at? It's hard to say exactly what it's going to meter at, but you're right. There will be a difference whenever you take a meter and you put tint over the glass. So the front doors, for example, you know, I think I can scrounge up a 70 here real quick. I appreciate the super chat. And you caught me at a good time because I have a piece of glass here and I have a meter. So we're going to meter this. 76%. Cool. So that's kind of within the ballpark that you're talking. So let us take the 70 here. Let's take off a little swatch. And we're going to clean it, and then we're going to peel it, and we're going to stick it. Maybe we should do a little more than that. But basically that. Because you're right. Whenever you put tint over, or put tint over glass, look, we'll even do it on the inside, so this is how it's going to be. There you go. We got 70 over it, and then we're going to put the tint meter, stick it down a little bit better. We'll put it over. So we're at 100 right now. Glass, 75. Over 70%, we're at 58 right now. So that number is going to be a little bit different. One, from the meter. Two, it's going to adjust a little bit depending on the glass you're doing. If we meter 70% straight up, 72. So that's what it meters, just reference point. My 70 meters at 72. Put it on the glass, 75. Do all that shebang. Bippity-boo. 59, 60%. So right in there. You can try and do a little math. So you multiply 70%. So 0.70 times 70%. And then you should get a close enough number, but it's not always, I don't know. For some reason, it doesn't always work out that way when you put a meter on it. So there you go. Thank you for the 5. Instead of just guessing. That's why I like the meter. That worked out. All right, let's put this pattern back on there. Wait, did I do the wrong one? 35? Ah, shit, you're right. 35 on 70%? No! Stop it. All right, hang on. 2 seconds. I got confused. Oh, I thought that was so cool. We messed up, boys. All right. I was so confused. You come and do this. All right, 35. We can do this. We can do this. We can make up for it. 35. Over 70. Da-da-da-da. 35. Where do we put the meter? Put the meter back. I was so confused. 28. So 35 on the glass, meters at 28%. So there you go. 75% glass, 35% tint, 28% meter. My 35 meters at 36%. There you go. Ha! We did it. What kind of tape? It's sheathing tape. So, sponsored by Lowe's. All right, so we're going to have to go ahead and shrink these. So, first, we're going to set up each one of these windows for shrinking. So, the way that I snap shrink windows is I peel it off the glass, I spray it, and then I'll go about as high as I can on the window, leave a little gap on the longest side, leave a little gap at the bottom, and then do this little like whoosh, rainbow. And then it's usually not curved enough to cause any problems when you do this, but I squeegee down, leave just a fine little layer of water in between the film and the glass, and you'll have some fingers pop up at the bottom. You're really just trying to gather the majority of what needs to be shrunk to the bottom. Spray, squeegee, rainbow, go down, da 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 da. Squeegeeing it down also just helps with the shrinking process here. If you leave a lot of water in between there, it's not going to shrink very quickly or very evenly. So leaving just a little bit of moisture in there helps a bunch. So longest side, long bottom, just because it helps you get the majority of your tint onto the glass. Squeegee down. Spray. Even, little gap, mist, so we can squeegee on it. Ta-da! Now we're ready to shrink it. Now, there's really hardly any fingers that are popping up there. But that doesn't mean we wouldn't have anything pop up on the inside. It's just we can't get the whole film on there. Does the windows have to be up or down a little bit? It doesn't matter. So when I go to shrink this, I peel it from usually the longest side and then keep it a little bit away from the glass so you get this little swoop in here. Your main goal is to lift the film straight across up to a couple inches before it hits the sides. So really, because it keeps it on the glass. If I picked it up completely off the glass, it would be a lot harder to do this. So turn on your heat gun, put it up all the way, and then you're shrinking just below where the film hits the glass. You just go back and forth, and then you'll start to get a little curl on this side, and you can match it up with this side. You're just creating a little swoop. And then you know if you did it enough, because when you it lays flat. If you shrunk it too much, you're gonna fight with it. So if when I go to try and put it down, it's not gonna be smooth. It's gonna start pulling up this way and pulling up that way. If I didn't shrink it enough, I'm gonna have little fingers at the bottom. So there's a couple little things right there. You can heat up the bottom, just go across, make sure it's pretty smooth. And then bippity bop, you just shrunk your window. Cool. So same thing. I picked it up from the longest side that's on the glass. Keep it about an inch or two away from the far end over there. And then just back and forth, and you'll start to see that little swoop there. And then it should just go down evenly. So as it starts to dry out, and the longer you take, it'll start to be a little bit funny, or it could be. This is fine. But you could always put a little bit of spray underneath, and then just, and then see all these nice little fine, squeegee it down. And then if you have anything that looks like it's kind of popping up, see these little guys right there? A couple little ones? Those will pop up on the inside, so then you can pick it back up. Just shrink those little guys out. Bippity bop. Bippity boppity boo. Do you always pick it up from the longest side? I think I do. Don't quote me on it, but probably. Yes. Couple inches away from the side. Shrink it. Just go back and forth. There's usually a little bit, on the longer side, there's usually a little bit more curve in this area. So you can put a little bit more focus on that area too. But this is definitely a method that takes a little bit of finesse. I wasn't born doing it this way. I used to pull up the individual fingers and just shrink them. this has been a much more consistent way to get my the bottom of the tint to lock down in place without any fingers popping up. So keep that in mind too. Tinting or shrinking the individual fingers kind of is a very direct approach, but sometimes I would have to force extra ones to pop up. And then it still would give me some headaches for like shifty windows and stuff, like Camaros and Mustangs and whatnot. 2010 Escalade. The front doors might shift out of those seals a little bit from the side. So roll the window all the way, like roll it down a good part of the way and see how much it shifts out. If I remember right, they do. That would be the only thing to watch out for. Tuck them a little bit farther into that backside so when somebody rolls it down, you don't see a gap there. See, now this sticks to this, creates a nice seal. He's got fabric here. Keep that all covered. Nice. Good job. Thank you. Oh, we gotta do towels over this weekend. So, what do we need? We need scrubby. Scrubby's good. Did we put one over there? We did. Scrubby and clay bar is always nice to have. And then I don't always use a razor, but on something that shows adhesive on like the back window and is a little bit dirty, it's not a bad idea to just have a razor in case. We'll close you so you shut up.
Chino Hernandez super chatted $2.99.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the info.
Aw, Chino with the 3. You're very welcome. Thank you so much for the super chat. Are you going to be around next Saturday? Yeah. Yeah, we're usually good on Saturdays. I'm around this Saturday. Look at that. So we got a few things. We got a scrubby, we got a razor blade, we got a clay bar. They all have their own purpose. Razor blade's really good at being thorough. We also have a plastic scraper. It has these little ends. They're good for getting in the sides and the bottom. Just those little areas that are a little harder to reach with, you know, this is squared off. And then, what was that? I texted you yesterday, but never got a response. Aw, I'm sorry I missed it. My bad. So we're scraping it. Yeah, I usually try and be better about getting back to people. That's why Nick's there too. But we're sorry. Scrape. Little scrape. Just in case there's extra adhesive on it. So razor blades are really good at making sure the surface is scraped. Scrubby is good at being thorough about scrubbing the glass. And a clay bar is really good about being thorough with the extra shit that's on the top edge. I'll text you this coming Friday and see if it's good. Alrighty, sounds good. We will try and be better. So now we should be thoroughly cleaned. Except for the squeegee. Squeegee. And then swipe it all over. You know, pouch could be just slightly wider for these, or the tri-edges could be slightly smaller. One of the two. Sometimes they just get caught. Woo! 3,500 to start a mobile tinting generator. Mobile tinting generator tent. Tent's gonna be a big cost. Something with sidewalls for sure is, but that's tough. Always bringing the garage to somebody. If you can work it where they have a garage, that's even better. That's the struggle with real mobile tinting, though, is always finding the space to set up. Just with all that, keep in mind, don't try and shortchange yourself. You're coming to them, you're setting up a whole shebang. There are a lot of guys that'll shortchange themselves, and then you got put up time and take down time. And when you're going to them, they're typically not bringing you a couple of cars. It's usually a one-off deal. So then you gotta pack up and then go somewhere else. It's a bit of a circus. Then you got gas and vehicle expenses too, so those all matter. Where can I get the clear protective panel wrap? You're not gonna believe it, but Carpet Shield. It's not even for cars. We gotta go a little bit farther over. These are deep. These are real deep panels for sure. Lots of plastic. That also makes it difficult. Cool. A little bit. We could go just a hair farther. But it's hard to see without kind of getting up and going over. Last thing you want, though, is a gap. Just because you were too lazy to check on the outside. Because then you get it all locked in place. And then you're like, do I have to redo it? Yes. Yes, you do. Dang. This is slick sliding all over the place. Whenever you get those corners cinched up there, your pattern will usually do a good job of kind of locking in place. If it's sliding a lot, just take a little bit of time. Take a heat gun and heat up your top corners too, from the outside. Let's check it again. We good? Yes, looking much better, much better. Make sure it's locked in place. Then we're gonna roll it up. Whoa, amazing. The crowd goes wild. Now, there's stuff that'll come up with it, so that's why we rinse it off. And then we go ahead and peel this across. Then I'll give it one extra good spray. See, there's a lot of film coming out of the side. So this is kind of where stuff can get extra tricky. One extra little waterfall there. Shank, tuck that guy in there. And then just try and pull back the seal and go sweep it real even. When you have looser seals, that's much easier to do. When you have tight seals, this shit likes to knock into stuff and stick real quick. So as long as you can get your pattern in place here, like just kind of on the window, shifting it over and around is a little bit easier. Then if we did all of that right, we'll have a pretty window. And then we got to go do that 3 more times. Yeah, it's looking nice. Little crease on both sides. So that's, yeah, it's pretty much from getting it tucked. And yeah, that pressure, the depth, you're gonna have, like here, we have a little pinch here that we'll have to heat out. And then same, actually no, not with this side. This side's a lot looser. This side just had a lot. So one side's okay, the other side has a little pinch we gotta heat out. There's so much there. Then, you know, because we're so eco-friendly here. All this plastic. Tape. Door panel. Look at that. It's all dry. I like that. Ta-da! So eco-friendly. Do you fix it from the outside or the inside? So easiest is to heat it on the outside, warm up that whole area, let it dry a little bit, and then press it down. Trying to send you some stars. I don't know how. Oh, wow. That is the first time anybody has ever mentioned stars on the Facebook. I don't think I have that as an ability on Facebook, but super chats are a thing on YouTube. So if you head on over to the Tint Studio YouTube channel. Facebook was weird with all their stuff. They like enabled it for gaming channels, but because I'm not a gaming channel, ugh. Sad. There's all these weird live privileges with gaming channels that are, it's not fair. It's not fair. All right, where do we put that blade? Because I want to razor this one too. Do we have to get another one? Do you guys remember? Rogue razor blade laying around somewhere. Probably threw it out. Or set it gingerly down somewhere that is safe for sure. I don't know if that's it. That could be it though. All right, round 2. Hey! They are within seconds of each other now. That's awesome.
Mari Lopez super chatted $4.99.
Mari with the 5 super sticker. Thank you. Much appreciated. What is it? Sheba dog clapping his hands. Thank you. Is window film recyclable or is it considered trash? I should know the answer to this. We usually just throw it in the trash, so I don't know. I actually don't remember if it is recyclable. All I just know is always throwing it in the dumpster. Glass they do ship to Puerto Rico? We do actually. Also, so do the distributors. Sun Distributing, check them out. They're real good at international shipping. Hopefully it's going to be in stock soon, though. My latest ETA is like, it should be on the way to me on Wednesday. So I'm hoping we are like at the end. Shout out to Lowe's for sponsoring this video. Oh man. They indirectly picked a winner here. I mean, shoot, they got Carpet Shield too? Like, how long were they getting plugged for Carpet Shield? Walmart has ceramic tint. Oh, dang. I gotta put that on my list. Walmart ceramic tint. Sign me up. Who's it by? Is it a Gila brand? Oh no, they have Black Magic. It'd probably be a Black Magic brand, huh? Are there any cars that are hard to tint? No, they're all easy. Yes. Yes, there are. Domestic, a lot of like US domestic vehicles are pretty straightforward now. But there are a handful of ones that definitely suck, especially when you get into older vehicles. More challenges come into like foreign trucks or foreign vehicles, but yeah, there definitely is. How hard do you think it would be to tint the back windows on a 97 GMC K1500? I'd probably make a face if I had that one to tint. I would not have a fun time on that. When you get into trucks in the late 90s, early 2000s, and before, there's a lot of times you get hard plastic and crappy rubber seals that are falling apart. So keeping them clean is really tough. There's not a lot of shrinking, but there's sometimes nowhere to tuck the film, and they're old trucks, so they haven't been treated very well. You know, and it's from 97, so it's had a couple of years to build up some dirt deep in those seals. Yeah, it's just not super fun. So, more often than not, I charge, like, on a full truck, Pro Classic, sides and back, no windshield, I'd be at $240. If I get a call about that one, $400 to $450. I don't even necessarily want to touch it, but if I have to, I'm gonna spend some time on it and make sure it's done right. There's a Porsche. Ooh, what the heck? there was a Porsche that I had, 90, what is it? Porsche 924, no, 928. Not super fun. But he did get ceramic with a windshield, so that one was a lot more expensive. Alright, shirt. Oh, dang. Well, that's not super fun. Something shifted on me a little bit, so we're gonna see if we can fix it, and if not, we're just gonna redo it. No, we fucked it up. Ah, dang it. See that guy? So this was shifting on me a little bit, so we gotta redo it. Sorry. So what happened there was it was all kind of well and dandy. For whatever reason, it's sliding a little bit more on these windows. So when I was squeegeeing out the bottom, I just put a little bit too much pressure this way, and it caused the whole thing to kind of shift. So we got to redo it. So once it's like in that half tacked up, dry, like half tacked up, half wet state, and it starts shifting around on you, unless you get everything to like squeegee out evenly, you start getting air pockets, and it just starts being all types of crappy. So we got to recut it, reshrink it, reinstall it. Woo, back to square one. Thinking about tinting my 2012 W204, but I'm afraid I'll mess it up. I'll go to a shop. I don't blame you. It sounds like something I would take to a shop. Do you have a lot of competition? Oh, for sure. We're the Motor City, man. We got plenty of tint shops here. And we get plenty of shops that also, you know, you just get all types of people. You get people that tint for next to nothing. Get expensive shops. You just have everything in between. Just all over the place. So I don't think it's as tooth and nail competition up here as maybe somewhere like in Florida, per se. But you still get a lot of competition here. Everybody's got their excuses in the areas that they're at. I don't have enough clients. You know, I'm on the wrong side of the road, whatever else. So my prices are still like shit. We had Nick was just telling me he's had a harder time booking people. It happens. You just a lot of work comes in, then it starts slowing down. We're hitting a slower point in time. People are going back to school. Generally, you'll see a slowdown sometimes around now. And we had a fair amount of people in a row that were like, yeah, sure, I'll leave a deposit, and then they just never do. But that's what it takes. Gotta grind through it. I'd let you do mine, but you're a bit far away. That is the problem with the YouTube tinting business. Gonna be a little far from some people. It's one reason I didn't really emphasize where I was for a long time. I just didn't think there'd be enough business off of YouTube. And there still really isn't. But there's some good people that are actually finding me. So when you start searching window tint in this area, you'll start finding my videos and stuff pop up. It's cool. All right, so we got to reshrink this too. That's the thing that sucks so much about messing up a pattern is you're back at square one. So you can't just like take a step back and fix it most of the time. it's like you're starting over from scratch again. And that's a lot of lost time and, you know, lost material too, mostly the time. So same thing, little gap, shrink from the bottom, curl it. And then what we're gonna do differently so we don't make that mistake is we're gonna try and ensure that the pattern is fixed in place, which we usually do, but sometimes we get a little ahead of ourselves. The silver lining here is the glass has already been cleaned very thoroughly, so as long as you didn't tack it down to the point where it's leaving glue behind, you're totally fine with just picking up where you left off, leaving the window down, squeegeeing it off, and then putting the piece in again. So like if you're cutting off of a plotter, you still gotta sometimes load the film back in and cut it, you know, cut it on the plotter, but sometimes you can get a little bit of a faster recovery, but. Are you just heating the bottom half of the window? Yep, no other surprises. We didn't, what you see is what you get here. We didn't magically take anything and go on the top. We just move everything to the bottom, shrink the bottom. And doors aren't typically super curved, so that's why you only need to do like bottom area. Just move everything to the bottom, shrink it, install it. I knew a guy that would shrink on the top though. I never really saw a point, but hey, you do you. How long have we been live for? About an hour? Sound about right. I'm gonna put this one over here. Grab this one. Here in Cincinnati, new window tinter. I've learned a lot from you. Oh, that's cool. I have quite a bit of extended family down in Cincinnati. I haven't been there in a little while though. And then you have a few window tint suppliers over in Columbus, actually. Like 44 Tools and ASWF. So they're real close. You could actually go check out 44 Tools. Would definitely be worth going to. All right, hang on, let me focus here. We're getting distracted. Let me pull this guy. So sometimes when you go to like squeegee out the bottom, where'd it go? Oh no, there it is, found it. Ta-da, ta-da. Tuck that in. So one of the reasons it got screwed up the way it did was the way that I squeegeed it out on the sides. So we're kind of working everything outward. So something that you can do accidentally without even intending to is if you take a tool like this guy, this has a more grippy rubber edge to it. So if I take this and I sweep it down this way, causing the film sometimes to do this. It could pull all the way from here, or it could pull just that corner and do some funny stuff. So I love these for the sides and the bottom, but that rubber edge will sometimes grab it. Using something like a tri-edge, it'll glide over the film a little bit smoother. So you just have to make sure that your film is a little bit more tacked in place if you're gonna put extra pressure and kind of tweak it in a weird spot. So that's what really happened. And then I tried shifting it back, but it was, when it shifts one way and it's mostly tacked down, sometimes at that point, that's when it decides to grab the window and there's no shifting it back. So Happens. We're good. We're good now. We're all caught up. Hope you guys fell asleep and woke back up and boom, we didn't make a mistake. What? It's crazy. We just, here we are. I believe they're in Columbus. Yep, they're over in Columbus. Just saying, Cincinnati, not too far away. Hop, skip, and a jump over to another really cool tint tool supplier. So, or you can make the trip up here. Go to Waterford and see Sun Distributing. Ba-da-bum. Ba-da-bum. All right. Let's grab our stuff. This guy. I need to get a roller stool. I think I might need to get 2 of them, 1 on each side, but I haven't figured out what I want to get yet. Something comfy, something that's not going to bump into the cars, and then I got to replace the wheels so they're smooth on here. What tape do you use to put on the seals? Look up sheathing tape. It comes in a lot of varieties. Tuck tape is a great one. This Lowe's sheathing tape is available at Lowe's. Wow, big surprise. And there's also Tyvek from DuPont. So there's a lot of them that are available. I'm sure Home Depot has theirs too. I just needed something, so I picked up a couple rolls of this. And then I've neglected ordering tuck tape. But yeah, this stuff's been fine. No problem. Ba-ba-ba. What is that? Oh, that is where we this is where we put a couple of swatches on the film. Or a couple of swatches of film on the glass and metered it. Glad I did that. Am I live right now? No. We went live a couple hours ago. You're just seeing the recording. Matt from Obsessed has a really good roller stool. It's a little on the expensive side. Yeah, I think I saw it. It looked pretty good. I'm like going back and forth on how wide of a base I want for a roller stool. You need it to be sturdy, but I also like, it doesn't need to have a really big profile to it. And something that would be safe if it kind of rolled its way towards a door or something, so. There's the little stools that a lot of people get from like Harbor Freight and stuff, those little worker stools. Those are pretty good. Just would have to change out all the caster wheels on it. We might just go that route. Because I could get different, I just was thinking about it. I could get different casters for it. Those scrawny little casters though, they're but they're not super comfortable, but more comfortable than what I'm sitting on right now. I like this little stool though. It's really portable. It just folds. It's a stepping stool, but it worked out really good for just throwing in the back of a small SUV, taking it with you. All right, time to peel. Put it up in the void. Some new cars have a yellow film on the back windows. What vehicles? I haven't seen anything like that. The closest thing I've heard is like Toyota or in Lexus with their coating. I don't know if that's what you were talking about. I haven't seen anything else though. You guys like that ding ding? The good old Ford, not obnoxious at all. Who approved that? Who was like, this is it? This is the sound that's gonna be on every Ford vehicle for years to come. You've done it. You've cracked it. Or was it somebody that was like, hey, Jim, did you work on that sound? Oh, yeah. And then he like did it in 2 seconds. And they were like, oh, okay. "2021 Red Sport." What's the Red Sport? I don't know what who makes the Red Sport? Like what? I know it's a trim, but what tape is the best tape? Lowe's tape, or tuck tape, or sheathing tape. Use sheathing tape. How much for this one? So this one is $320. All the sides and the back. Oh, Infinity. Infinity is one of those companies I don't see very often either. So Toyota, Infinity, Acura. They're just... People get like nicer Cadillacs and Range Rovers and whatever else, but like a lot of it is we're Detroit, we're the Motor City. We get a lot of big three around here. So I get a lot of everything, but not as much of those. So every once in a while. I just did an Audi Q5 the other day. Trying to think of the last Infinity I did though. Need help shrinking the back? Well, you've come to the right place. So it makes sense that it'd be on an Infinity, but I guess it kind of makes sense. But it's just one of those unique vehicle brands. But I haven't seen it on anything else yet. But yay, coating was not something I was expecting to see anytime soon on like vehicles. So they're starting to put them on Toyota, Lexus, and it sounds like they're just making their way around to other ones. Yeah, I think you, but anyways, I think you can tint over it, but you can't, like, don't try and scrape it. It's a really flaky coating. Probably do more harm than good. But if you had to remove it, yikes. You can't use a blade on them? No, it sounds, yeah, so it sounds like it's the same type of coating. There's just some surface coating that they're starting to put on the inside of certain Toyotas. They started with Lexus, and then they're just kind of expanding it out to other ones. I think it's a super bad idea because, I mean, somebody, like, regardless of window tint, it's something that if you can scratch it with a razor blade, you can scratch it a bunch of other ways, I'm sure. So you're going to have these vehicles a couple years down the road, and the windows are going to look all swirly and fucked up. So what? Now you got to go replace all those windows on your car? Yikes. So, yeah, don't take a blade to them. I've heard you could scrape off the whole coating with enough time, but it's like flaky, thin window tint type of coating. So you're just... Ugh. No thanks. All right, we can close this. Look at that. Now we don't have a sound anymore. But I know you guys. You guys like that. Boo-doo-boo, boo-doo-boo. Good God, can I put a razor blade in the same spot today? Or do I just keep throwing them out? He's got a multitasking going on and doing a great job getting close to the edge, not slowing down. Do you think he's doing a good job? I hope so. I hope I'm doing an okay job. I like to think so, but... You know you got fellow tinners when people are just numb to the door chimes. It's just like, you can latch them and whatever, but sometimes you're just kind of like, you just hear them so often. It's just kind of whatever. It's background noise. It's weird if it's not there. What are we gonna do? HP films? Not as much. Most companies shied away from trying to push them because they got a really bad rap. They were, I mean, for good reason. They were killing cell phone signals and radio signals, and at the time that was really important. It's more important now, but those signals are probably stronger now, and from what I hear, they've addressed some of the issues, and it's supposed to not be an issue. But it's one of those things where it had such a bad rap that most people aren't just jumping right back on metallic films. So I don't know. I'm kind of in that in-between where they weren't much of a thing when I started tinning because they already had that bad rap. And then, but you have carbons and ceramics out, so there's not a huge need to go that route. Would you tint a windshield with a crack on it? Some won't. So if it's a little thing that is starting to spider, I'll leave it up to the customer. You make them aware of it, and you go, hey, if I put pressure on that, it could definitely go farther. And you're putting something on the glass that's going to absorb more heat into it, so temperatures are definitely going to... They could potentially make it spread farther just from heating it up extra, and then you're driving along and hit a little bump and that thing spiders on you really quick. So it's definitely recommended to get fixed. I'd do it if the customer's cool with it. I have no problem with it. It's like, if they're cool with it, it's their car. So It's all good. I'm not taking on any further responsibility for it, but you don't just do it in the back and then hand it back to them and pretend there was never a crack there. You gotta have a little discussion about that. There's good policy. Cover your own ass. So take a minute, walk around a car. If you see anything extra funny, you bring it up. That way, it's not an afterthought. So when you're delivering a vehicle, they're looking a lot more closer at their own car, and sometimes there's things there that they may not have noticed, or you even noticed beforehand either. So it's really smart to take like a camera out there and just like when you walk around the car, do a little recording of it and just try to be extra thorough. That way you have something to bring back and say, hey, before we even touched your car, this was the state of it. But that takes effort. Sometimes people don't like effort. Yeah, it was kind of crazy too. We did an F-150 windshield and sunroof, and then I never have this issue. We went out to look at it. He looked at the roof, and there's this dent right by the sunroof, and I just, be 100% honest, I didn't notice, but I happened to have streamed the whole thing, so before I even cleaned it, you could see it on camera that there was a dent there. He was just like, I don't know when that would have happened. I guess when it was at a job site, but shit, that sucks. This is looking good. On my vehicle. Are you the F-150, the white one that we did? How can I tell the difference between carbon heat rejection and ceramic heat rejection? Just out in the wild, you're not really going to be able to. Or, I mean, you will with ceramic. No? Yes? Anyways, so the difference is it's just going to feel nicer with ceramic than it is going to be in carbon. How can you tell? So like, it's such a, there's so many little variables there. So you're just, if you put them side by side and you hop in from one to the other, you'll probably be able to tell a difference there. If you just, you have, it's hard to say really. But yeah, it's just, you should definitely notice more with the ceramic than the carbon. But like, if you sat in your own car, what I'm thinking is like, if you were sitting in your own car, could you tell if there was ceramic or carbon on it? That's going to be kind of a hard thing to, like, I wouldn't be able to tell you if there was carbon or ceramic on your car. It's one of those difficult things. But when you pay for it, you know what you get put on your car. So like even when you have your car tinted, like people ask me like, do you know what film's on my car? I have no idea. They all look different. They have their own weird little characteristics. I wish it was easier to quantify in some way like that. But I would actually have to take a meter out there and let you know if you had ceramic or on it or not. It's like when you have a computer, right? And you get a new processor in it. Could you tell me which processor is in your computer? Probably not, but it's going to do better. It's going to be faster. So you just kind of get the best of, you know, what you can afford and what you think is good for you. trying to get this up here, but this one's a little close. Just put it. Tinted a window in limo, and you could see a lot of scratches. Yep. Yeah, whenever you put, so the lighter the film is, the less imperfections you're gonna see. When you have a dark background, all those little scratches appear bright white. So you're gonna see, you're putting like a nice clean backdrop. And unfortunately, it's not like you're darkening them up to go away. You're actually like indirectly highlighting them. Kind of sucks, but that's how it goes. Why do you always use tape and not just a bright light? Have you scratched windows? Yep. Been there, scratched windows. Don't want to risk it anymore, and wanted something that's more consistent than taking a blade to glass. So, new blade, careful. Even then, when you're kind of moseying through a day, you get those windows that you just, all of a sudden, there's a little line there. So you're always, when you're cutting on glass, you're always putting a little line. Whether or not you can really see it if you look close enough is kind of the question there. Most of the time, you gotta make sure the window's pretty clean, and you gotta get real close to see it. But stainless steel and glass, they're similar hardness, but you can have softer glass. And all it takes is just a slightly duller blade or something, and then you'll put a line in it before you even know it. So I don't like, yeah. I just wanted something real consistent too. Something tangible that I could actually, you know, if we're gonna do videos, if we're gonna teach people, I wanted something that other people could comfortably rely on too. Not just, eh. It typically only happens on aftermarket glass. Yeah, typically. And all it takes is one scratch to give you a real bad day. I mean, it's going to cost a couple $100 to replace that back glass, and how much did I make on the car? So I would rather always having something in place that isn't going to cause that issue. Started using the tape method. Saves me a load of time. Glad you like it. I mean, that would really suck too. What if somebody's got an aftermarket back window and you notice that it's aftermarket and then you're trying to be careful and it still gets damaged? Like, somebody is not going to want to hear, well, I tried to keep your glass safe and then it just scratched anyways. They're going to see a scratch and they're going to have a problem. What was that? Little Vaseline in the scratch and they won't notice? Sounds like a good trick there to get you out of a tight spot. Definitely doesn't fix it, but I hear ya. Try the fusion heat gun? I have it. I'm not a fan of it. Here, I'll show you. Somebody keep a timestamp on this one, and then we'll do the fusion. It's okay. I don't like it. I've tried it a handful of times. I don't know. Where is it? There it is. There you go. See, those are some of my favorite comments. Just rub a little red pepper into a customer's eye. So when he's going up to the window, what's that right there? And you're just like, 10 out of 10. Do all carbon films have a slight haze? I had a complaint about it being a bit hazy. What carbon film was hazy? Okay, so this is we're gonna turn this up all the way. We're gonna try it. We're even gonna use it the way that they recommend. Holding it here. Where's my little shrink-a-dink? It's like, it's similar. It blows more air, but I've tried messing with the fan speed. I don't know. You can get like stupid close to it. I've been told to just get real close to it. But if this is gonna cost like almost 200 and I get a Wagner for 20 bucks and I have a hard time justifying the cost here, and finishing up my edges seem like a bit of a pain. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this heat gun. It works, it's fine, but it's just not. It's not knocking my socks off. See, it is knocking the film off though. So let me fix that. It's probably blowing my socks off though. Have you tried the snap-on heat gun? I have not. There's like the old Milwaukee, there's the old Makita. Those are like by Steinel. That one's actually, I think the Fusion one's by Steinel too. It looks like a hairdryer. Great videos you mentioned in prior videos. Global, the glue is tough enough to remove in a single event of strip and retint. Can you, what? Sorry, there's a lot of words there. Prior video global film is good, but the glue is tough to remove. Oh, yeah. So yeah, if you're removing global, what I mean is the glue is tough. So when you remove the film, it'll leave a sheet of glue behind. And then the glue is it's just tough to remove. So some films will scrape easier. Global was like extra heavy duty glue. Look, I don't even like how close I have to get with this. I want to keep a little bit of distance so I can see it. But if you had to ask me, like, if you were going to learn with a heat gun, would you use this one or would you use the other one? I still would say the Wagner, just because you can keep a little distance there. Looks like you take longer. I feel like I take longer. We actually, half and half. It was like a full minute longer. So I kind of want to play around with it a little bit more and then do another comparison. Oh, dang, we forgot to even talk about shrinking. See what I mean? Gotta remind me at the right points. Totally skipped over shrinking. Oops. We talked about shrinking in the last couple videos. I know that. Or at least two of them. So skip to the shrinking parts. Sometimes we just forget. Some of you guys are good. I'd use the faster one so I can give up quicker, so I can take it to a shop. Well done. Man, I really, like, we have really, really good, wholesome tint conversations here, and then every once in a while we get some, like, grade A shit posters that just, like, hit the nail on the head. That makes my day. All right. That is cut. We can do the quarter windows too. Where did we throw that roll of film? Put it right here. Should I open up a shop? If you have the business for it, yes. If you don't have the business for it, it's a slow go. It's a slow going in the beginning. So you need a way to build up clients because there's already shops that are kind of there to fill a demand. So you'll either get an increase of business when there's just a huge surge of demand and not enough shops to do it, or you have a really good, clever way of getting clients. A good amount of that happens just with time, good referrals, good people coming to you, and it's just with time. So if you can figure out a way to kind of like build up that client base before you jump into a shop, that'll work out really well for you, because then you'll know you can take on a shop. I'm not trying to scare anybody out of just opening a shop, but like you need a way to survive while it's slow and you're getting things going, because you'll open up the doors and you won't necessarily just have a bunch of work all of a sudden walking in, waiting for you. So if you can kind of somehow mosey into it, the way I really moseyed into this shop was I was still handling some mobile stuff. So I'm tinting for different companies for quite a long time, and that was my main business. So setting aside a handful of days a week for my own shop and still doing the mobile stuff, I just scheduled people here like a regular, like all my other accounts. So if I'm not here, if I'm tinting elsewhere, I'm still handling phone calls and scheduling appointments. I just don't have any walk-in traffic. But don't worry, not really set up for much walk-in traffic anyways. It's really nice for live streams though. So I can't answer the question for you, but those are definitely some things to consider when you're opening up your own business. The rent, 2,400 plus utilities. Electricity seems to be about $250. There's gas somewhere in there, not much until it gets into the winter time. Then internet. Internet's a meme. Internet's another $250 because I had to have business class internet. You couldn't have the exact same speeds under the exact same service that you have at home. No, no, no. They have to charge you literally triple the price for the exact same service. Wonderful. All for a measly 40 up. 40 up. And in the wintertime, it was inconsistent as fuck. Okay, so you see this? I'm trying to shrink the ends just a little bit more. See how long this is taking right now? I always do this on every back window. I always do that. Wagner, let's pick it up. Oh, I guess we gotta plug it in too, huh? I think that's pretty cool. It just kind of like sits up waiting for you to pick it up, so that's nice. But that's the strongest thing I can say about it. And then here, flipped it on. Already. Down, 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 down. It's just more focused heat. There. Done. See, we need heat gun wars, I guess. I guess I gotta get a snap-on one now. And I got to get, I don't know, what other ones? I guess we'll have to get a couple of heat guns. Somebody suggested snap-on, and we'll try and find a better heat gun. But right now, King Wagner right there. Oh, we should probably do that, huh? Don't want to kill a car. All right, we're making good progress now. Let's pick this up. We have the back window and the quarters. Kind of gonna go get all that done in one fell swoop, and then we'll be done. Towel. Where's the towel? Towel's sitting over here. What you doing down there? Oh, and a scrubby. Nice. Oh, scrubby there. God, I put those things all over the place. Tinted 06 Civic, 09 Civic, rear windshield, third brake light is so close to the glass I had to remove it. No tool would fit to squeegee the water out. I'm trying to remember that one. If any, there's a handful of those for sure. Don't blame me for pulling it apart. Chrysler 300, similar. Sometimes it pinches up. Like there's a certain year on the 300 that does that. I'm trying to remember on the Civic. I'm sure I've tinted one. It's been a minute since I've tinted that one. If you don't plug in your tools, isn't your electricity bill go lower? Maybe, probably, slightly. I mean, the computer's always running. So, yes, there are little... Oh, I have a razor blade right there. How about that? Yeah, there's little things that I could do to, like, nickel and dime it, I'm sure. But it's not going to make any substantial thing. Lights are on. I mean, come on, I got to power some fog machines here, too. Let's be real. It's just part of it. How much do you charge for this car? This one's $320. Bulldozer a fit, but you'll pinch and crease the film. Ooh, so there's one tool called the Red Devil. That doesn't really exist much anymore, but I know a supplier that actually carries those, and I want to see if I have one too, so I can actually show you what it looks like. There's a couple tools that I would have tried alongside, because you're right, Bulldozer sometimes is just a little bit too thick. You need something a little thinner to fit there. It's maybe a stupid question, but why is the tint on the outside of the rear window? Not a stupid question at all, especially when it's worded like that. Thank you. So the tint is on the outside. This is something customers will ask all the time. I thought it goes on the inside. It does go on the inside, but all the cutting and cleaning, well, actually not cleaning, all the cutting and sizing, forming, that all happens on the outside. And then we peel the film and we stick it on the inside. So it does go on the inside. It just sits on the outside until it's all ready to go on the inside. Okay. I don't know if it's here. It should be. I should have one on backup, but it might just be buried somewhere in here. I'll bring up the other one, though. Here, I got another thing that I can do, too. So this is definitely one of them. I know I have a Red Devil. I just got to find it. So this is the whale tail, the green one. This one is soft. So, see that? So it's a little thinner. So it curves up quite a bit. So on the really tight deck lids, this will do a pretty good job, but it's still kind of difficult to get in there. But it's a really good swipey tool for the back. You do it like this, not just like this, just like this. And the other one, real quick. Let me show you guys here. Because I forget I can do this. So we go to Sun Distributing, we click search, red, look, red, look, all we have to do is red. Look, it's right here. The Red Devil. I couldn't even find this in a stock with all the Red Devil products. So Red Devil is like a painting supply company, but this thing is very much like this green whale tail here, but it's harder plastic, and it'll get in those real tight areas. So you just give it a couple of swipes, and you'll knock a lot of that out. Used to do like the black and white and try and curve it up, but the Red Devil was way better. There was like the black and white. I don't know what they call it. Oh, they do. Yeah, this guy right here. Yeah, this was another one, but you kind of have to get it to curl up. This wasn't a bad idea either. So, just a couple of things. Hope that helped. Sun Distributing. Sorry, let me go back because here, I know you guys can only do so much. Oh wow, it goes back with every letter. Interesting. All right, can I? Red Devil, right there. Copy link. Restream chat. There you go. There's a link to it. You are very welcome, sir. Thank you for watching, being part of the fun. Yeah, I talk about tools, but actually, like, bring them up on a site, I forget I can do that, but I can do that. We have the technology. I think I forgot to get a back window tool. So we're gonna squeegee this off. We already cleaned this a fair amount, but it doesn't hurt to go back over it, especially right before we install. You're always gonna wanna go over it a little bit. Dang, I had that back window tool. And then, oh, I left it over there. But on something like this, actually, in these corners, that green whale tail will actually fit, actually, pretty well there. Just realized how many times I said that. Is this carbon? It is. I always clean the windows first, and then I tint. I do think you need them clean. You always need to clean them right before you install them. So, yeah, you really, if you want to kind of see what you're doing better, it's nice to not have the film on the glass. But since I'm cleaning right before I install, you might as well give it the full thorough clean right before you go to do that guy. Trying to saw that little antenna there is creeping up on my tint. Trying to skirt it out underneath. But the things that are definitely taking longer, like when we go around and we tape everything before we go to tint, that legitimately makes the whole thing take longer. I'm not saving any time with doing that. What I am doing is making sure I have a cleaner job. So those will trade off a little bit. Somebody that finally puts on the, the back like me. Yeah, I've been doing this way ever since I started tinting. I do windshields reverse roll, and it took me a long time to learn that, but I love doing this for back windows still. Reverse roll, I like it's really methodical, I guess, but you have a lot of paneling and stuff, so it's just, I don't know, for me it's always been quicker and easier just to peel the whole thing and just trying to, so there's a big air pocket down here. So I don't want to pinch anything. Just the way that the carpet presses up against the dots there. Making sure the air is out. There we go. Is the back window the hardest? They all have their tricky bits. Back window is tough in its own way. Like, learning doors can be just as hard as learning back windows. But it's definitely like the biggest problem window. So like if I mess up a door, I'm not wasting a ton of film. If I mess up a back window, that's a lot of film to throw out and restart. So it's kind of like the main things to learn is like hand cutting, shrinking, and then the unique installs, which kind of sounds like everything, but Super chat. Super chat. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Where's the voice? Come on, voice. Do your thing.
JDM Freak super chatted $1.99. Thanks for the help. Hope this helps the channel. Smiley face.
Hey. JDM, thank you so much for the 2. It absolutely does. Much appreciated. Definitely need more of that glass aid. I'm working on it. Side doors on a Lexus IS250. Ooh. Yeah, you ain't kidding. IS250s. So I actually popped the seals out of the ES250s, the new ones. The older ones, though, I don't have a great way to do those, unfortunately. Is there a way to get air bubbles out of a tint job after a tint job is done? No. Unfortunately, if it's still wet, then yeah, you can still get them out. After it's done and dried for like usually less than an hour, you're not getting air back out of it. Air, once it's fixed in there, that's it. Water will eventually dry out, but air for some reason will always stay. It's usually because there's also dirt there, but if you left an air bubble behind or something, no. Look at this. Michigan, built with pride. So we're gonna leave that proudly up there. I don't know if we'll want to keep it, but it's a Michigan thing, yo. Ugh. Do you have a Tesla Model 3 soon? No. No, I've done the windshield live, though, but I haven't done that roof on the Model 3. I believe if you go to the Obsessed Garage channel, Alligator actually did that one. I don't remember how much they showed of the windshield, or the roof being done. But he did it on there, and then there might be... Usually, there's a lot of back window videos, but for the windshields, I don't remember. Or for the sunroof. Because I looked at it and I saw how much paneling there was in the way. That's no good. Definitely no good. Oh yeah, let's put this here. That's what's throwing me off. That. Haven't watched in a while. Great live show. Thank you. So scrubby, squeegee, and then a little bit of touch up and we'll be done. So I found another another flat glass squeegee. This is the Scotch Brite one. It has dual blades on it. I thought it's probably not gonna work, but for the heck of it, let's just try it, because you never know. So right now the Libman is king. Here, I'll take that off. But I want to see if this one, actually not too bad. Makes a little funny sound. It's a little hard to get on the edge. You need a little bit more curve to these ones, but I understand they're flat squeegees. It's not too bad. So I think it's a close second. I'd take the Libman over this one, but this will work too. Big old squeegee for the back window. It just, man, it just makes it look so clean at the end. When you can do this, it's like streak free. So this is a great way to, yeah, see that little bottom. It's a little tough to get. So on a more curved window, it's definitely going to fall short. Libman still takes the cake. So we have a little bit of water here and a little bit there. So let's get, let's use this guy. This guy will do a great job. Fits right in between. And then hopefully it'll fit in between there. Look at that, all gone now. This guy, these things are great. One of the few green ones too. Can I order enough ceramics for the top and windshield for my Tesla from Geo? Yeah, definitely. You can order probably more, a little more than you need. They'll usually sell 50-foot rolls. You can actually also go to a site that's not too bad to go to is Tint Zoom, and they got Geo kits, but they'll also sell bulk Geo rolls too, kind of cut down to size, so that's not a bad option either. Alright, so that little, it's a little hard to get down here and see exactly what's going on, but that little foldy area, I'm gonna knock that guy out, so just enough heat, let it dry, press it out. Do I have a smaller one? Smaller one would actually be a little handier. Yes, yes I do. Hello, Tint Studio, how can I help you?
Hello?
Hi, Tint Studio, how can I help you?
How you doing, bud? I'm right outside. Do you guys do, like, boats?
Do we do boats?
Yeah, like on, you guys tint, window cars, correct?
Yeah, we primarily do cars. I've done a couple of boats. I can take a look. Are you outside with the boat?
Yeah, I think I'm on the back. I don't know if there's a front.
Actually, you're at the right area. We're on the back corner of the building. I could pop outside real quick and check it out. I'm right in the middle of a car though, so just give me a couple minutes and I'll be out there.
10-4.
Okay, cool. Thanks, man. All right, so we're pretty much all set here. I gotta go handle something real quick. I gotta go look at a boat apparently that's sitting outside. So I'll let you guys talk to yourself for a minute. And then I'll be right back. Where's this? Here, knock yourselves out.
Hell yeah, bro.
And then just tiny
that
bit of
money.
touch up left. So I'll be right back.
Hello. What's goody? Fools. Heath. Desnits. He left us pensive face lol. Do you tint Apaches? At. What's goody goody? Kasho. Getting my dog tinted next. By H. Face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy. This thing is jokes AF. Microbe, 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 ambulance, 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 ambulance. Loudly crying face, 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 loudly crying face.
Oh, you guys. Oh, that one was a good one. I gotta put an end to it. Let's go, boys. You guys just, this is like Twitch chat. When I leave you to your own devices, this turns into Twitch chat. I thought he said boat. He just said quote. He had a ram outside he was wondering about, so we quoted him, and he'll let me know. Now I'm just gonna hear that in my ear for the next 5 minutes until it calms down. I don't know. I wish I could tell if wrong tint is on my car. We're having fun. I see that. That's great. I appreciate it. That's why I left the chat on for you guys. Where'd my... Oh, yeah. We put that here. All right. A little bit of touch-up, and then we'll be done. We already did most of the touch-up, but it's the tricky part about running your own shop when people show up. You got to play that song and dance of entertaining customers. And tint at the same time. And stream. Dang, this looks good. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. So, somebody mentioned they wish they could tell what tint was on their car. Really, without a meter? I mean, shade is one thing, type of film is another. You'll feel a difference, so when you roll up and down the windows, you'll be able to tell by not feeling much of that infrared heat anymore. You'll be able to tell if you have a better film or not. So, but yeah, it's not as clean as just, you know, looking at and being able to tell one way or another. They're all gonna look like black from the outside. They're all gonna have their own little unique tones, but that's unique to the film, not the film brand or the film that's there, not the type of film. So carbon isn't necessarily, it's not gonna look a certain way versus like dyed film. They're all gonna look like films. So better quality carbons are definitely gonna look clearer, but the tone of the film is just kind of up to the brand and the manufacturer at that point. Do you have other employees or just yourself? Everything's pretty much me, except I have a buddy from high school that helps out with booking and taking care of extra phone calls. He's really good at getting back to people. So he doesn't come in here, though. Not unless he feels like it. Somebody asked if you could tint airplanes. It would be cool. And I bet you some people do, very occasionally. But there's actually, I have a small background in aviation mechanics, and there's a lot of red tape in the way. So it'd be considered an alteration, and then you have to have it approved. So you could technically only install approved materials. And most aircraft have plexi windows, so you're not really going to be able to do those anyways. If you could just do like the small side ones, that would be cool, but if you're in like smaller aircraft and stuff, a lot of those crazy bubbly windows and whatnot, those are all usually plexi. Everything's got a lot of red tape with the FAA if you go through the proper channels. A lot of red tape. Any alterations have to be documented, approved for that specific aircraft with that specific like alteration. They're nuts, but for good reason. They don't want to see somebody get smushed. Why does everybody hate on Lumar? I don't hate on them. I think they're a solid company. I think they kind of blew up their branding a little bit, though. They kind of like, they're all over certain areas, and there's a lot of places that are still paying top dollar for that film and still undercutting their prices as a shop, which just kind of blows my mind. So, but they do take care of their clients really well. Like if you have a problem and you're installing Lumar, they comp you for removal of the film and reinstallation. Like they take care of their people. So, but you're right, it is expensive. So some of them have like kind of a bad rap for some of the lower grade films like ATC. They're like, oh, ATC's crap. So maybe it just depends on where you live. ATC was a really solid film here. But it's priced higher, and it's still susceptible to failing like any other film, so sometimes it just kind of gets blown out of proportion, I think. But also, I hear bad things about the scratch coat, though. So that would be something that would really irk me if that's still the case. Really sensitive scratch coat. So if you're just like taking a squeegee over the window and you scratch the film, that's a weak scratch coat. I mean, you could do that with a piece of dirt, but if it happens really consistently, that's typically the scratch coat. That would piss me off a lot. All right. So we got to end things. Canon. I need some training. Still, I'm here in Cincinnati. I would totally drive up to your shop. We need to do classes here. So that should be a thing here soon enough. What do you mean by oils? I don't think I said oils, but maybe I said something that sounded like it. All right. My dashboard. All right, so we touched it all up. I know we kind of like blazed past a walkthrough, but do you guys care? Probably, maybe a little bit. What was it? 2, 3. Yeah, we're not doing bad at all. Cool. We're pretty much in line with what we normally do. Not you? Oh. Forget sometimes you have your side conversations. Yeah, so we did 5 on the back, and we did 20 on the front doors. Keys are right there. $445. Oh, dang. All right. Sorry. I swear, we're done. We're done, but we're not. Cool, so this is what it looks like. Yay, look at that. 20% on the front, so you can kind of see through a little bit, and then in comparison to the back, like, you can't see that back wall, like, at all. And then around the back. And there you go. Looking pretty spicy. Canon. Sweet. Alrighty. So, let's shout out some super chats and then we'll end things. Big shout out to JDM, Mari, Chino, KTM Racer, Jose. Thank you guys for the super chats. As you know, I always appreciate it. And then anybody that hung out today, made it a fun time. I appreciate you too. This was a good stream. Everything went pretty well, except for that one mistake. Whatever. It's bygones be bygones now. We're all good. So next stream is going to be on Monday. It's going to be in the morning at like 10. And I think it's on a Volvo. So Volvo with a windshield, so that'll be interesting. I don't get many of those, but hey, we'll knock it out. So stay tuned for that one. In the meantime, check out the Facebook group, window tint stuff. /groups/tinternet. There's the Facebook group. Join the Facebook group. That is where we have a big old community. You can post pictures of work that you've done. You can ask questions. You can help out other people. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you being here. You guys have a good weekend. Video installing a rear camera with a mirror, because that's how I found it. Yes, I do. That was a stupidly big video. I made it as a joke, and the next thing you know, it blows up. Go figure. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for being here. Have a good weekend, and I'll catch you on Monday. Later. Goodbye.